Yo, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Welcome back to Helping Humanity Evolve, y'all. My name is Jose. How's everybody doing this morning? Hope everybody's happy and healthy. Hope you guys meditating and connecting the source, bro. You know, we love you, we miss you. We want you to come home. You know what I'm saying? Crazy shout out, man. Shout out to my subscribers. I love y'all, man. Shout out to Source. I love you guys. You hear me? Shout out to my ancestors. Shout out to my archangels, my angel guys, my demon guys, and my spirit guys. I love y'all, bro. Shout out to the universe. Shout out to the Galactic Federation. Shout out to Trippy Everything. I fucking love y'all, bro. You hear me? So listen up, y'all. It's Thursday, March 13th, 2025. It's 3:58 a.m. All right? It's early. It's early. Y'all already know what it is, bro. Time is moving really, really fast. You know, I don't know if you guys noticed, bro. We're already in March, bro. Right? This shit is flying, bro. Right? I know why. You know, I bet you don't, but you know, I do. Right? But you know, if you want to learn, you know, what's going on in the world, you need to meditate, bro. You need to connect to your higher self so that you can learn. Right? So whatever. You know, I hope everybody's good today, bro. The week is almost over. Right? It's been a beautiful week, y'all. It's been beautiful, bro. Um, we got so many things going on, bro. Right? I love it, bro. So listen, I'm gonna talk to y'all this morning, but before I get into what I get into, I want to give a quick shout out, bro. So shout out to GFL, bro. Right? This message is coming from all right. So it's looking like they didn't say this is the Galactic Federation. All right. So this is from the Galactic Federation, bro. This message is going to be from the Galactic Federation. It's channeled by Yoshi Final, and it's going to be narrated by me, by Yahweh, bro. They didn't put down who narrated this one. But whatever. I got the message. The message is ready. And it's going to be about energy update. Right? So yesterday's message was fucking dope, right? Now, before I get into today's topic, yesterday, yesterday, I didn't get a chance to really go through the message itself and talk to you guys. Right? So one thing I didn't get to mention yesterday. Hey, how's it going, my fellow alien brother? Yo, Mr. Shadow, how you doing this morning, bro? Welcome back, bro. Right? Uh, Glenn, Glenn, Monk, whatever your name is, bro. Welcome, bro. How you doing this morning? So, I didn't get to go thoroughly into the message that we received yesterday because it was a lot of information. But basically, what I wanted to touch on that I didn't get to touch on was how the pyramids were built. Right? Everybody's trying to figure out how the fuck we built these pyramids. Did they use rope? Did they use water? Did they levitate them? Did they use magic? Did the aliens come down and use the UFOs? I'm chilling and drawing. That's good, bro. So, excuse me, y'all. Well, I did acknowledge the giants and how the giants helped us in building this pyramids. And I acknowledge the magicians that were here, who were able to use all 12 strands of their DNA. Right? They were able to use 100% of their brain. I believe they were able to levitate these blocks and these boulders, and they were able to get them up, right? So, with that said, I didn't acknowledge the aliens that came down to help us, right? Because you guys got to remember, man, these pyramids are aligned with the stars. They're everything is aligned with the stars, bro. It's all mathematics, geometry, bro, advanced mathematics, bro. So you gotta understand that we did have outside help. The aliens came here. The aliens helped us align everything with the stars and make sure everything was straight. They're the ones who shot up there and made sure that we were perfectly straight and all that bullshit, right? You know how when you work construction and you shoot a laser across the room and you got somebody way on the other side trying to align whatever it is you line up with the laser. All right, it's the same shit, bro. We shot a laser from here to outer space from the pyramid. Somebody was up there going a little bit this way, a little bit that way, right? A little bit there, until they lined it up perfect, bro. And then, we made that shit happen. But we couldn't do that without the aliens, bro. You understand? The aliens gave us a big hand in that, bro. So shout out to y'all, bro, right? Shout out to the aliens who gave us a hand building the pyramids. We love y'all, bro. Right? My fault for not acknowledging it yesterday. I was thinking about a lot of things, right? So sometimes my information gets gobbled up, bro, and I forget to talk about shit, right? But I did remember, bro. So with that said, bro, it seems to me like the internet is being flooded with misinformation, a lot more than normal. Now it could just be my feed, y'all. If you've been paying attention to my lives, bro, y'all know that we being all of us. If you have black plasma within you, if you are divine and you're asleep, they're trying to instill more fear into you so that you don't awaken. They don't want you to wake up to this information. They don't want you to know this information. They want you to live in fear. So they're trying to fact check everything we say. They're trying to disapprove everything that has to do with God, bro. Everything, bro. Like they're trying to say now that the world is round. They like flat earthers don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Meanwhile, we got all these new maps coming out of the whole world, bro. We got all these new maps that show us all this other land, bro. Right? And people are trying to disprove that, bro. So they're going harder than ever, right? Right now, it seems to me this way, right? According to my FYPs. So I know how to discern information. I know how to just scroll past it, right? Like that's bullshit. That's bullshit, right? I'm not gonna comment. I'm not gonna leave it. I'm not gonna even give it energy, bro. I saw it, right? I kept it moving. It was stupid to me. It was stupid, bro. But the thing about it is that the average person who doesn't know what I know, might come across this information and get confused. And this is their goal, right? They want to keep you in confusion. You understand? They want to keep you in confusion. They don't want you to believe anything we got to say, right? They want you to believe what they got to say, but they don't want you to believe what we got to say, right? And this is why they hide my channel. This is why I'm being hidden from you, right? Because I'm revealing too much information. I know too much. Right? And I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm not scared of these niggas, bro. So you can say I'm rebelling alone, right? I'm doing this shit by myself, bro. I'm rebelling against the system alone, bro. And I'm doing it for all of us. You probably won't understand it because you're a fucking slave, right? But whatever, that's here and there, right? It's my duty to teach you how to wake up to the bullshit, right? You gotta learn how to discern information, bro. So with that said, bro, time is moving a lot faster, bro. It's moving a lot faster, bro. Right? I feel like New Year's was yesterday, right? Like for real, bro. It feels like New Year's was yesterday, bro. I feel like I just got here, bro. Even though I've been here almost 2 months. You feel me? Like holy fuck, bro. Time is flying, bro. Right? And every day I wake up, every day I do a little bit. And it just seems like 3 days go by in the snap of a finger, bro. I swear, bro. No matter how much work I do in a day, I feel like 3 days go by at the snap of a finger. So, I just keep at it. Like yesterday, bro. Hey, Mr. Shadow, I missed what you was trying to say, bro. Yesterday I came in the studio and I started recording a song, right? So I got it. I recorded it already, I have to put the ad libs on it and do my voices right that I be doing. But once again, I chose another trippy beat, right? I chose the RC beat, right? So I chose the trippy beat. I wrote to it. Come on, buddy. Come on. I wrote to it and I did record. I started to record it yesterday. So during my recording, I had to kind of like leave, right? Because something came up. So I had to leave, bro. So I ended up leaving and then coming back. And when I came back, I didn't feel like recording. Right. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just do it this morning, bro. When I finished the live, because I already did most of the song. I just gotta finish it. So after the live, I'll just jump back on. You understand? Uh, but yeah, this is one that I wrote a couple of days ago. I wrote this a couple of days ago. The Flash soon, Mr. Shadow. You keep asking me about that, bro. I can't disclose that information, bro. Come here. Come here. Y'all want to see hello? Y'all want to see hello? Look at hello, bro. Look at hello. Say hi to hello. He's good, bro. He's getting big, bro. He's still a baby. I just got him, bro. I got him like almost 2 weeks ago. Right, buddy? Right. So he's good, bro. He's a minx cat. He doesn't have a tail. They're born without tails. They're very, very affectionate. Right. Almost to the. I've never seen a cat that's affectionate, bro. All right. So where was I? Yesterday, music song. Hello, hello. His name is Elohim, bro. But I call him Elo for sure. Right. I thought it was a girl when I got him, but it was a boy. So I'm noticing that my lives on Facebook is getting lower and lower views, right? Now it's either that they don't want this information to get out, right? Or people are just haters, right? And they don't like the source. They don't like the source, right? Which is that's a personal problem. If you don't like the source, bro. My father never said I was going to be beautiful, bro. Even though I'm very beautiful. You understand? So while you were sitting there being so judgmental, you know, you're really hurting yourself by being that way. You understand? You really should learn not to be judgmental, bro. That's the only way you're gonna learn. You know what I'm saying? So those of you who are judging just because of how I look or the way I am, take a look in the mirror, bro. That's what you need to do. Grow up. Most of the judgmental people in this world that I've come across, they're all older than me, all of them, bro. Right? And then you got a lot of them that's my age, right? A lot of people my age haven't matured at all, bro. Right? A lot of people that went past, generations before me, bro, they haven't matured, bro. There's people in their 60s that still act like they're in their 20s, bro. Like they have a mentality of their, and they're very, very judgmental, bro. And all they know how to do is talk shit about people, bro. You understand? These people exist, and they're like 90% of the population because that's what you guys know how to do is group together and talk shit about people. Like you guys are very, very judgmental. God frowns upon that. The only entity that's allowed to be judgmental is the judge, bro. It's the judge, bro. You know who the judge is, bro? You know who the judge is, bro? It's God, bro. He's the one. He's the one who could look at you and judge you. You understand? Not you. You're not qualified, bro. Right? Not you. You're 65 years old and you still judging people. Why don't you judge yourself? Have you judged yourself at all yet? Has any of y'all looked in the mirror to judge yourself? Because you're real judgmental. You like to judge people. Have any of you looked in the mirror and gave yourself that test? Because I bet if you did, you'd be ashamed of yourself, bro. Right? But you guys don't think this way. Right? I have to explain it to you in baby terms. Baby terms. Right. So, whatever. Uh, but what we're gonna talk about today, bro? You know, I really didn't know what I wanted to talk about this morning, bro. Right. All right. I got a good one. So, people want to learn how to heal. Now, the other day I spoke about healing. Like, I spoke about healing, bro. And I'm gonna talk to you today about shadow work, a little bit about shadow work, right? Because people talk about it like these terms are used all around social media, but a lot of people that read these terms, they don't understand the meaning or the definitions, right? So part of healing, when you're doing healing work, is shadow work, right? And when I first heard of shadow work, I didn't really know what to make of it. What the fuck is that, bro? What is shadow work, bro? Is that evil, right? What does that mean, bro? So throughout research and more research, I discovered that shadow work means releasing. It means releasing, bro. So what does releasing mean? What are we releasing, bro? Right? What are we releasing? How do we release, man? So when you do shadow work, you cry. You cry. You release your pain. You're supposed to release your pain. So the trick to doing shadow work is your body knows when it wants to release, right? Your body gets into this very, very sad, you get into this really sad feeling, bro. Like you just want to cry, bro. So when you get that feeling, you're not supposed to fight it. You're supposed to go find yourself a private spot, as fast as you can and go let it out, bro. Don't hold it in, bro. You understand? Go let it out. It wants to come out. Don't suppress it. So go find a hiding spot and cry, bro. Cry for 5 minutes, bro. It's okay. You cry for 5 minutes, bro. Let it out. Wipe your tears and go back to work, bro. I had to release that shit. Now, what were you releasing? This is the key to it all, right here, bro. When you're doing shadow work, what were you releasing? So when you get these feelings of wanting to cry and you get these emotions and you want to go let it out, you need to think about what hurt you. Think about what hurt you, bro. Right? That's what you need to do. Bring it up, right? This motherfucker hurt me. This bitch hurt me, right? And bring it up and feel it, bro. Let it out, cry, bro. Bring up anything that made you cry, anything. I don't care what it was, bro. If somebody said something mean to you that hurt your feelings, bro, think of it. Think about it. This is the perfect time to think about it. Think about it and let it out, bro. Right? Let out all these emotions and feelings that from all these things that happen to you, bro. Right? And what I do is I do this weekly. Bro. So there's nothing compiling. You understand? Every single week I cry. Now sometimes I cry for 30 minutes and sometimes I cry for 5 minutes. You understand? It just depends on what happened to me, right? What happened to me this week, right? So, whether it's like I said, whether somebody hurt my feelings, or whatever, I think of these things when I'm doing shadow work, right? I think of them and I release them, and once I release them, once I cry about them, right, and I clean myself up, I feel better. I don't think about them no more, bro. That's the key, bro. Listen to me. Don't think about them no more. You can't bring them back up next week. You can't bring them back up and go and keep crying for the same reason. You gotta release that shit and let it go, bro. You understand that? Like, forget about it. It's history, bro. Like delete it. Delete it from your memory. You cried about it. You know what it is. Keep it pushing. The minute you keep bringing that shit up every week, nigga, you in a cycle. You in a circle, bro. You never gonna evolve or elevate from that circle because you're not trying to go nowhere. You keep crying over the same shit, right? You're not growing, you're not learning, you're not doing shit, but you're bringing the same thing up every single week. It's like living in the same moment over and over and over and over. Every time you bring up that one topic that makes you cry, bro, and you can't for some reason you can't let it go. You need to learn how to let it go because that's impacting your progress on whatever it is you're trying to do. You understand? So with that said, shadow work is huge, right? It's huge when it comes to spirituality because you can't carry burdens. You listen to me, bro. You cannot carry no burdens, bro. You gotta release all the burdens, bro. You dealing with enough shit, bro. So don't walk around with shit that you don't need to walk around with. You understand? And if you are walking around with something, figure it out, bro. Because all it's gonna take is a little bit of shadow work to fix. if necessary. And if you don't need to do shadow work, that's even better. Right? Find a way to release that shit without having to do shadow work. If you could release it without having to do shadow work, that's beautiful too. Right? If you could just think about it and have a realization and go, oh shit, yeah, oh my god, I put it together. Now you could release it because you put it together without doing shadow work. That's a beautiful thing. But sometimes shadow work is the only way to release it. And a lot of you people walk around here with a chip on your shoulder, bro. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people walk around here with a chip on their shoulder. And you never know when they're gonna snap, bro. And this is why there's so much crazy shit going on because they groomed you to be that way. If we make everybody walking around like a ticking time bomb, bro, this world's gonna be crazy, bro, because people gonna be provoking other people and they're gonna be at the end of their rope, nigga. So you gonna push that button and he gonna snap, bro. And the people in power sit back and they love this shit, bro. You understand? Like they get their rocks off because you out here doing this. You understand? But it's because their plan is working. It's working, bro. Look, it's working, bro. These people are walking around mad. Everybody's got hurt. Everybody's got a trauma, bro. Everybody's traumatized, bro. Listen to me. In the United States, everybody's traumatized, bro. Everybody, bro. Like they've been fucking us up since we was kids, bro. So you got people that just accept the abuse. You just accept it. You grow to it. You learn how to live with it, right? You learn how to make it a part of your life. You make the abuse a part of your life. Like it's okay, bro. But you're not supposed to do that, bro. You're not supposed to do that. This is why you got that chip on your shoulder. Because you're not supposed to do that. You understand? You gotta take that chip off your shoulder so that you can live freely. Because as long as you got that chip, you're a slave, bro. You understand? And it's not by choice. It's because you were groomed. You were groomed. The system set it up this way, right? So that it could be chaotic. Like they push a button and imagine if everybody got mad at the same time. Right? That would be some shit, bro. Right? But that would cause chaos and they would love that, bro. You understand? But you gotta learn what it is, bro. You need to learn what it is, what they could use to trigger you, bro. Because just think about it. You walking around with a chip, he walking around with a chip, she walking around with a chip. Everybody got all these different chips and they're different kinds of chips, they're different size chips, right? Some people's anger is stronger than others, right? Some people really don't care, but some people will go to great lengths, right? Like you never know, bro. You never know. You understand? But this is what the government wanted, so that when this person decides to let go of that bullshit, whichever way they choose to, they're gonna do it to the people around them. They're not gonna do it to us, bro. We're gonna watch it on the news, right? But they're gonna hurt the people around them, right? And this is what they love to see, bro, right? Us fighting us. They want to see us hurting us. They starve us, right? They raise the prices of the food in our neighborhoods, right? And when people go hungry, who's the first people they attack, bro? Think about this, bro. Who's the first person they attack their neighbors because it's right there. It's right there, bro. Look, they dinner tables full, bro. Right? I don't got nothing in here, bro. But they right there. They 2 feet away from you, bro. They 3 feet away from you, bro. You starving, bro. Who you gonna go after? You're gonna go after your own people. Feed me or I'm gonna kill y'all, bro. Or I'm gonna take it from you, right? You won't go after the people that put you in that position. You won't go after the people who's watching, sitting at home in the luxury of whatever property they're on, from their television, looking at you, laughing at you, bro. You understand? Look at the dumbasses attacking their own people like it's their fault. Right? And nobody talks about this, bro. Nobody says anything, bro, right? Just another black on black crime. And then they walk around with a sign that says stop black on black crime. Right? This is what they've been doing since I was a kid, bro. And it's always been us against them. Meanwhile, they all the way, you don't even know how to get to them. And if you got close to them, nigga, the cops will stop you because what you doing over here? People of your color don't belong around here. Right? So the minute you pop in their neighborhood, nigga, you stand out. Everybody knows you don't belong there. Right? They're protected. They're protected. Why are they protected? But you can walk around your neighborhood. Nobody notice you, bro. Right? Like what kind of game is this, bro? Right? This is the shit y'all gotta think about, bro. When you think about, I need something, I want something, I can't get it. Go after the right people, bro. The money is there. It's there. It's just don't steal it from your brothers and sisters. We work hard. We get up and go to work every day. We pay taxes, bro, so that the people who live off the government could live, right? And they could send our money to Ukraine so we could support the war. We want to support everything but our people, right? This is the way our government makes it seem to me, bro. You understand? We want to support everybody else in their endeavors, but we don't want to support our own people. But keep sending them to work, keep raising the taxes, right? We need them to pay more taxes, right? And this is what they do to us, bro, right? And you people are sheep. You people don't do nothing. You sit there and you bitch and moan about it. You guys will go to work and complain to your coworkers, but you won't say shit to your boss, right? You'll sit there and suck his balls, right? Because you need the job. So, you guys are phonies. You guys are fake. I don't understand how you guys can go to work every day, go home and look at yourself in the mirror and call yourself a man or call yourself a woman. Who the fuck are you? You understand? You just a sheep. You just a slave, bro. What makes you think you're special? Nigga, you obeying the system that wants you to obey. You following the rules, right? You're not free. You're not free, bro. You a slave, bro. Do you realize that, bro? You a proud slave, bro. How am I supposed to respect that, bro? Explain that to me, bro. You understand? But you walking around here, you know what I'm saying? Like you something. You can say, I got $1 million in my bank account. Nigga, shut the fuck up, bro. Why don't you find God, bro? Why don't you find God, bro? Right? Because y'all niggas ain't living right, bro. Nobody's living right, bro. You understand? And me trying to be the voice of reason here, I'm being hidden away. I'm being hidden away, bro. Listen to me. I'm being hidden away, bro. Really, bro? Wow, bro. YouTube. Hold on, bro. Let me see if I can do this, bro. Because I didn't charge the tablet, bro. The iPad, bro. That shit's about to die, bro. Alright, so whatever. Listen, Facebook. Look, today's gonna be a little crazy, bro. Or if I have it here, if I have it here, I do. All right, hold on a second, bro. I'll be back, y'all.